Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm trying to make this nice for you guys because it's beautiful and sunny, but it means staring at this computer very hard. Okay. All right, let's go from there. So, welcome. I am the king of chemo. And yeah, before we get started on this fitness class, which is just going to be, it was meant to be upper body strength training, but I did the kettlebell class yesterday, which was not on my schedule, which then knocked my schedule into slightly off kilter. But we'll do a few chest exercises, just not that many, because my upper body is fairly worked after the kettlebell thing, and hopefully so is yours if you did it. And yeah, so if you started watching this channel because you were into gaming, go on to Headshots for Head Cancer. It's connected to my channel, because I'm going to cut gaming out almost entirely. Maybe some particularly funny ones I might add in, but if it's just gameplay that you want, Headshots for Head Cancer is where you'll find. And if you want to do any of the streaming fun things that I'm going to hopefully get going at some point, again, Headshots for Head Cancer. So what we're going to do is we'll start off with the class. We'll get straight into it. Press off. So this is all before I go out for the marathon run today. Marathon does not mean an actual 42 kilometers. It's because it's Monday and I like when things match in a wordplay. So Thursday is when I work on my thumbnails, that sort of thing. Thumbnails are a photograph if you don't know. So what we're doing here is down dog, heels to the floor, and a combination of down dog and what I call that inchworm thing. So once we get to this point, lowering the head down, sweeping up, soles of the feet, both point to the sky, which is really doing its work today. Feels like the first day of summer, which is perfect because it is also now legally allowed to have outdoor fitness classes, full outdoor fitness classes, no limit to people, as long as it's organised by the government, but gatherings of 6. So, good day to be living in the UK. So, come back up, focus on the heels, pushing down into the ground. And the same thing with your armpits, you want to be trying to push them down. Because if they're too far forward here, you're not going to get into your back as much. Okay, and then we're going for those Spetsnaz dive bomber press-ups. If you don't like yoga, if you're too manly for yoga, you need to make it into something more manly. You just tell people, no, I wasn't doing yoga, I was doing Spetsnaz inspired press-ups, dive bomber press-ups. And everybody like, ooh, you're so cool. So really stretch your back and your hips and your stomach when you do this. Your abdominal muscles. Go nice and slow. Use your breath to get deeper into stretches. So if you haven't remembered or you haven't seen any of the previous videos, your breath, the way you take advantage of it is on your out breath. When you exhale, then you go deeper into the stretches, because that's the point where your body is telling your muscles to relax and they get put into a place of happiness. So come back up. There's a better way to do that, but I just didn't want to step on her. So now what we're going to do is we're going to wake up the spine. So slowly stacking vertebrae on top vertebrae. And roll the shoulders. One hand in front of the other, doesn't matter which one. Up over the top. Drive your hips forward and release your hands. and then back down, and we'll do it again. Now, one of the reasons that I also brought up why it's great news for that fitness classes is that I'm going to start organising free ones in the boroughs around or in the commons around my house. So Stratton Common, and I might make my way up to Clapham Common. And with that, I'm just going to be there. I might get a megaphone and just say, free fitness classes, come on in. But one thing that would be nice, anyone who lives in London, come along and join in. But I would like to record them so it becomes a sort of a circular thing where people are more likely to watch the classes, I think, if they see it as an actual class rather than just someone being an instructor. I think it would be make someone feel more like they're being involved in class if they see me teaching other people as well. But can't do that live unless I have 1,000 subscribers. So if you've got any mates that are interested in fitness classes, now is definitely the time to try and push it onto them. Because I really do think that once I get to 1,000, that these videos, these fitness class videos, could get better. The rest of them, they'll stay just as shit. No hopes of improvement there. Okay. So, warmed up the legs a little bit, focused on the hamstrings. Now we're going to get into, we are doing chest stuff today. So how can we do some chest stretches, demonstrated easily? Can't really demonstrate it too easily. But look, what you will need is you will need a wall, okay? And you're going to have to just sort of listen to what I'm saying here rather than see it. So, first thing that we're going to do to try and stretch out the chest is you place your thumb pointing upward on the wall and you move your chest forward. This drives your hand to pull back. Don't let it go back too far. So nice and tight into a wall. You don't need to be kneeling down. It's just better for height of the camera angle. So we're moving forward and you should get a nice good stretch here on your bicep and a little bit on your chest. Okay, switch around. So remember, thumb pointing up, that's important. It is relevant. Different stretch, which angles the arm. It gets into different parts of your shoulder, right? Okay, so we're going to switch over to the other one. Now we're going to be making a fist. So the thumb was up, now we're making a fist, or, high five. I don't know why I did that. It's too loud as well. This is mine. Alright, to hell with it. Okay, so we were stretching at the back of the hand. Powerfully annoying moment there. That alarm just shut off the my phone that's recording the better quality of this. I really do hate when stuff like that happens. If someone rings me, I have to always remember to put on airplane mode. If someone rings me while I'm recording something, I usually keep my phone on silent so I won't actually hear that it's ringing. And then I just look back and just like, oh, missed call. And we decided to shut off your video while you were while someone else was trying to ring you. Yeah, thanks. Okay, and switch over. So remember, we're thumb pointing off to the side now, making a fist, or up, doing a high five. And again, you don't need to be on the ground for this. I'm just doing it because camera angles. And nice, easy breathing. Now, if you have a housemate who also happens to do a fitness class with you or will be interesting, one of the nicest stretches you can do, in my opinion, for the chest is get your hands back of the head like so, like, you know, FBI is seeing you and you're here doing it, like, you know, doing all this jazz. So you do that, okay? And then hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate this. You're down on your knees in this position. What your friend does, comes in, knee to the middle of the back, hands to the edge of the elbows, and you put a little bit of pressure. It doesn't need to be much, and then just pull back. And it is really, it's like getting a massage. It's not a million miles away from a massage. Okay, so now we are going to get into the strength training part of the exercise. So, because we're doing strength training, we'll go into the specifics of repetition ranges. So, when you're doing with strength training, you want to be doing from anywhere from 1 to about 6. When you get into 8, going to about 12 to 15, then you're getting into what's called hypertrophy. Hypertrophy is bodybuilding making muscle bigger. They have overlap. Someone who's very, very strong will have a slightly larger muscle. And the same thing with hypertrophy. You have a very big muscle, you usually have some strength. But we're going to focus on very hard repetitions. I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to do any of these. I've not really used this elastic band. But as you can see, you put it on your back. Like that. Thumbs, fingers, hands, you know, whatever way is comfortable for you. Okay. So let's see how much this can actually be done. So we want to be hitting it so it's, yeah, that's actually all right. 1, 2. Okay, so I think hands is actually better for this, because otherwise it just sort of, it's pulling the thumb up and it feels like the thumb is going to give and you're going to get an elastic band in the eye. Piss off, ghost. Yeah. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna go up to 8, 6, 7, 8, and take a break. So, unfortunately, I don't have an angle where I can do my pull-up bars, but if you can, pull-up bars would be better. But seeing as how I'm moving it to the camera, it's going to bring in some weights, and we're going to try and do the opposite of the movement we were just doing. So, if you think about it, my legs pointing backwards, arms going down, then we're going to do the opposite. Arms coming up. So, we don't want to be jerking the weights. We want to have control of the weights at all times. This is ideal for bodybuilding but it's more for a safety element when you're doing heavy weights with strength training, because you don't want to buff around and risk hurting your joints. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and now we're going to take a minute off. So one thing to not do when you're taking your rest is tinker with your phone. See it happening all the time in the gym, and then you end up going an extra 15 seconds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it makes a big difference. And even there's the fact that 15 minutes after my rest period, I'll put my phone back in my pocket, adds another 5 seconds. It adds up. So we've got 20 seconds left. What you want to be doing for your rest period is in your head and getting into the positions. You're not doing the exercise, but you are ready to go. So 3, 2, 1. Six, 7. Last one. 8. So, I forgot to mention, we are going up to 4 sets of this. If you have a pull-up bar is far superior to for what we want to be doing versus this. Ways that you can make your pull-up bar heavier. I know this is an extreme example. I wouldn't be going anywhere near adding 22 kilos to me. But if you wrap your legs around something small like that and then get to your bar, that's a really good way to add weight to it if you don't have if you don't have a weight vest. I was going to do this in my weight vest, but I can't seem to find it. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, great. Very nice, very nice. So yeah, something that I care much more about is getting enough subscribers to get up to 1,000 rather than people donating. So normally what I'd be saying, like, if you enjoyed this fitness class, it's not over, but just may as well make use of the rest period. Rather than going on to the just giving and going like, that was a nice fitness class, I'm going to give, £2 or whatever. I'm going to give €2. I would much prefer it if you push this on to some of your friends that would be interested in fitness classes, not just any old person. They would have to be interested in what the channel is about. But anyone at all would be great, because once it hits that 1,000 mark, it means that I can go out and I can do the fitness classes with my mobile, which I really want to do. I think it's going to be a very fun way, in a very more communal sense, that people are able to get involved with a gang of people in a park. I think it's far more relatable, and also it would attract people who are actually doing the classes. So it'll be word of mouth getting spread around in two different platforms. And having a larger channel legitimizes things. If someone says, hey, I do fitness classes, you want to see what my fitness classes are like, go on YouTube. If someone has 500 subscribers, they go, maybe not. If someone has 1 million, they go, maybe definitely. Okay, going to 8, halfway mark. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, going for the 8 again. Make sure you're not bending your back when you pick up any sort of a weight. A good way to do it is do it like a child. If you have any kids in your life, tell them to pick something up and you'll watch a child have perfect form. And find a way to get them to squat, because whenever they go to pick something up, they will pick it up like they're fucking champions, like they're Eddie Hall ready to deadlift something that weighs a ton. So they'll squat down, knees go to the side, pick up something like that, and up they'll go. I don't always do it, but practice. Do as I say, not as I do. But whenever you're picking something up, if you can get into the habit of going down like this, rather than going down and lifting with the mid part of your back, better. I don't do it 100%, but ever since I learned to sort of do it with everything, pick up a pencil like it's a heavy object, I have gotten better at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this would be the last set. And I didn't think that I would be able to do it because I don't have a slidey surface. But before we go, I'm going to show you a trick to doing a really hard strength training work for the chest. What you'll need is something that rolls without your hand breaking, or a tiled or wood surface and a towel or something that will slide. So maybe adding a bit of water to it, but something that will mean that one of your hands can move forward and back with no friction. Okay. So I don't use bands a lot, but it's actually kind of hard to keep it where it wants to be. You saw it flick up on my neck there. And that wasn't a good thing because it wasn't applying enough pressure. So it became a lot easier. So let's finish off nice and strong. I'm going to go up to 10 for this one. Again, that's going past the barrier of strength training, going into hypertrophy. But again, they both have rollover effects. So it's better to do something hard than something easy. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, it's far too late, but better late than never. I'm all about the phrases at the moment. If you are unable to do a proper press up, do a press up what you need. However, don't do this. This is shit. You're not getting into the muscles. You've got big, strong muscles. Your pecs, your shoulders are tiny, but they're very relevantly precise, extremely strong. And you're not getting into them here. If you do not have the strength to push yourself back up from your knees, that's fine. Don't be ashamed of not having the strength to do that. You might just be on the last legs and be tired after, rep number 60, you can't do 7 and 8. So what you do is called a negative, okay? Never be afraid of doing negatives in any exercise. They're excellent, okay? So what you do is you, as much as you can, try to keep your body upright. Once it gets to the bottom, move your ass to the back, and then come up and repeat. Like so. Now just to get onto negatives. Negatives are really, they're unpopular, but they're well respected in the bodybuilding community because they're hard. They're extremely hard to do negatives because it means that your muscles are running out of juice. So there's all sorts of negatives or things that tap into things that are similar to it. There's something called a drop set where you lift, let's say you're doing bicep curls, you lift heavy 60 kilogram weights, then you go down to 30s. I know that's a ridiculous amount, but then you go down to 30s. As soon as you're finished, I can't do a 60 kilo weight, instantly pick up an 80 kilo weight. Those numbers are stupid. I should have just gone 10, 9, 8. And then by the end, you're lifting a 2 kilo weight. You're a huge man, and you are, barely able to lift your own hands. It's so heavy. That's a drop set. And people do negatives all the time. People will have a bar, and their spotter will be helping them up, which is also a drop set, really. It's just it looks different. Okay. Last set of this. So you might have said there, you're lifting with your back. You're lifting with the small part of my back, which is fine. You don't want to be lifting from the middle of the back. Because that's where you bend your spine in a position where it's not comfortable. If you're bending elsewhere, you're keeping it in what's called neutral spine. 4. Last one. That is a great song. Hopefully it doesn't copyright infringe and destroy the channel. So now I'm going to show you this this one arm press up, which is actually, it's quite hard to keep it just as a chest exercise because it is both chest and back. So what you're doing is, can you see that? Yes, okay. So this hand is pressing the ground down while this hand slides up in line. So your tricep and your chest is being worked here, pushing forward. But if you had, your arm outstretched like this, you could still, if you're strong enough, bring your whole body up, which would be all your back. Okay, so it is, you're working back on one side, chest on the other. But try to focus on just the chest. So get your hand that's pushing the ground down, pushing the earth down, more focused. So I'm just going to do this as an example, not as a routine. So extending out, weight is controlled, and then back in. So if that was a lighter weight, it wouldn't have made it easier because I wasn't using the weight, I was just using it as a device that rolls. So skateboard, I used to do it on a skateboard. I never actually rode the skateboard, but this is what I used it for, and it worked perfectly well. That's why a wet towel or anything that has very little contraction on the floor. And there you go. So, very hard, very satisfying. Because you don't have to keep doing it for ages. It gets hard within, 3 reps. So you can, very good for grease the groove if you know what that is. You do a hard exercise over the course of the day and spread it out. So an hour, every hour you do, 5 pull-ups. And you do that 5 times in the day. So what? That's up to 25. I started off this year doing that. I haven't done pull-ups in a while. I can now do 13 pull-ups in a row, and I spread it out over the course of the day. Now, just stretching. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna go out for a run straight after this. So let's do some stretching for the legs. This is something I call north-south. So what we do is we just go through or the clock. We go to 9 o'clock, 12. Just imagine there's a clock face beneath you here. 12, 3, and then 6. Or west, north, east, and south. If you can, this is an ideal surface to be doing it on because there's lots of grid marks and surfaces. Try to find, a slight change in the grass, or you can just put down a little marker and aim for that marker so that you have a point of reference. Okay, and now we are going to, if she allows me, spread out more. Okay, so now hands to the floor, roll the feet in, drive the knees out to the side and use your body weight to come down. If you want to be fancy, that's another amazing song. Oh, I hope it's out of reach enough that the YouTube algorithm doesn't recognize it and copyright infringe this. Now, if you want to feel fancy, you can balance on just your hands for this. It doesn't get better into the stretch, but it's nice to just play around with that. Makes me feel more athletic than I am. Yeah, we're going out. This would probably be her first summer. Not probably, she was definitely her first summer. Well, no, she was born August, so. But first summer where she was up and active. Okay. And let's call it quits. That's it. So again, if you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. If you want to donate, go on to see the description in another video if I forget to finish off the editing process when I get back from my run. But I would actually much prefer if you told your friends who would be interested in the fitness classes or just the comedy sketches that I throw up on the channel, anything that they might like on my channel. Tell them to subscribe, because once we get to 1,000, that's when I'm going to be able to take that camera, live stream from that. So the camera is going to improve, but also I'm going to be able to walk around and do it anywhere. And I really do want to do these fitness classes, record the fitness classes, do them free to the people who are there afterwards, tell them, by the way, here's the channel, here's the charitable movement. Donate if you want. So then, you know, the goal can be achieved a bit better. And if it's not, well, I'm doing some good to the world and I'm keeping some people fit.